Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Joe Tyrrell and welcome back to GP Blog. Toby is back with me. Toby, today we're talking Sergio Perez. Is he fighting for his seat ahead of the US Grand Prix next week?
I think it's quite a tough one, but probably. From what Christian Horner and Helmut Marko and everyone kind of in the Red Bull family has been saying, it's not looking particularly good. They keep saying they're going to have conversations with him about what they can do to help him kind of improve and score some points. But whatever it is they're talking about doesn't seem to be working.
No, it doesn't. And I sort of thought he'd get over this dip. The summer break sort of came at the perfect time for him, I thought. But since the summer break, he's got worse. And I don't know whether it's just because... And he's making more mistakes. His form has definitely gone downhill, and it's really alarming for Red Bull because, well, they could quite easily... Max has obviously saved their season, but Checo's form has fallen off so drastically that I think McLaren have outscored Red Bull since the summer break by 30 points or something, or in the last 3 races.
It's crazy, isn't it?
If Checo had this form all season, Red Bull would be in a proper battle, wouldn't they, for the Constructors' Championship?
Yeah, it's mental. I'm looking at Perez's points per race here, and in his first 4 races, 5 races even, he looked unbelievable. 18 points, 25, 11, 33, 18. And then from that, it's just constant up and down. He doesn't seem to have a really kind of good, just lengthy run of performances at the moment, which is what Red Bull need from him.
Yeah, he's really struggling, and so it's no surprise given the pressure at Red Bull, the fact that they've got so many youngsters coming through. You've got Daniel Ricciardo, an experienced driver, waiting there. You've got Liam Lawson pulling up trees. I don't think Yuki Tsunoda's really in the frame. But there are so many drivers there that could potentially go into the seat. And I don't think Checo's a bad driver. I think Checo's a quality driver, and that's why Red Bull went for him in the first place.
Yeah, he's not bad at all. It's just his form this year is bad. That's the easy way to put it. Like you say, he is a quality driver, but when it's come down to him needing to score points, he hasn't been able to do it. And his qualifying hasn't been good at all either, which obviously puts him in a bad space for Sunday. So it's not just a race performance kind of basis that he's doing bad on. So he's not doing particularly well on Saturdays as well.
No, and I think since the summer break is his only P2, the P2 at Monza, was it?
He had a P2 in Belgium, or 18 points in Belgium. I don't know if that was from the sprint.
18 points in Belgium. But he got P2 at Monza, and I think that might be off the top of my head, without looking, that might be his only podium since the summer break.
Oh yeah, Belgium was before the summer break. Ignore
Belgium, normally, obviously in the past it has been
after, but yeah, so since then it's been really downhill for Checo, and so it's no surprise there are question marks surrounding his future. But at the same time, is he doing the same job Bottas is doing? If Red Bull were a bit kinder to him, maybe he would do better.
Yeah, because there's a very big debate in that sense. But one thing that Bottas did was win races, whereas I guess it's harder this year because Max is just unstoppable. There's so many factors that come into it, I think, but the general fact and issue at hand is that Perez isn't performing as well as he should be.
No. Ultimately, it comes down to, do you think he should keep his seat next season?
I can understand why they wouldn't want to keep him, but I also think they might be a bit silly if they get rid of him. It's going to be a really tough decision. Who would they replace him with? I don't know, because to be honest, with McLaren finding some form, it doesn't seem like Lando Norris might make the switch. If they'd continued their form at the start of the year, I think Lando would be stupid probably not to go to Red Bull if he had the opportunity. But if that does arise now, I could see him staying with McLaren. So then who do they replace Perez with?
Do Red Bull want that, though? Do Red Bull want another super competitive driver? Mercedes didn't want that, and it worked for Mercedes.
Apparently, from what the reports are saying, and Alex Albon said it, that Lando Norris seems to have a free run at Red Bull.
Yeah, because in my opinion, Red Bull don't want anyone else to win the title. They want Max Verstappen to win the title. He is their golden child. They want him to win. So why would they go and bring in potentially Norris, who potentially is a future world champion?
Might make Norris world
it wouldn't
champion.
it wouldn't make sense.
It might make Norris world champion, but I don't think that's what Red Bull want. I think Red Bull want Max to break all the records in the world, retire as the greatest driver in Formula One history.
I think if they did that, you might see a similar rivalry between or the one that we saw between Hamilton and Rosberg.
That would be really interesting because off screen, off camera, and sort of behind the scenes, Norris and Verstappen get on really well.
Oh yeah, they're basically best mates.
Yeah, so it would certainly make it interesting. So looking forward to the US Grand Prix now. How important is that for Sergio Perez? Like, he has to get a result there, surely, otherwise he's under more pressure.
Yes, he does have to get a result, but I also think if he does get, say, a podium finish, people are still going to be talking about, does he deserve his seat? So it would be important for him to maximise the amount of points he gets from this weekend. But at the same time, if he doesn't do bad, I don't think or if he doesn't do good, sorry, I don't think the situation would change too much.
Yeah, because I think the first half of the season, it was very much the Red Bull is the best car on the grid by a long way. Obviously, Red Bull have had limited development this year because of the wind tunnel and stuff. So as the season's gone on, McLaren have caught up. Aston Martin have dropped off a bit. Mercedes have caught up. Ferrari on occasions have caught up. And that has started to expose Sergio Perez a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So I think they should stick with him. That's my opinion. But the longer this form goes on, if Sergio doesn't get a notable result by the end of the season, I wouldn't be at all shocked if that's it.
Like,
No,
someone else.
I second you on that, on both of them, actually. I think they should stay with him because this form could just be this year. It could come into next year and win every race. Who knows? But obviously, you can only really base a contract off current performance.
Yeah, absolutely. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Predictions for the US Grand Prix, Toby?
Is there anything else we can predict?
I mean, I think it's going to be pretty obvious to go with Verstappen, probably to win everything and get a Grand Slam. But it might be McLaren in the sprint. Who knows? We don't really know what they're going to be like at Austin.
Back-to-back sprint races definitely makes it interesting because it means teams have just got no practice time.
But Austin is a well-known track.
It is very well known.
Compared to Qatar, for example.
Compared to Qatar, absolutely. And then we go to Mexico, don't we? A week later. So that's back to normal. But even then, that Mexico is going to be a weird one because there's going to be lots of junior drivers taking part in free practice. So
yeah,
heading into the back end of the season,
I think teams. Well, we know teams like to leave it late to get them done, but it might have been obviously a bit more beneficial if they could have done it a bit earlier in the season.
Yeah, I think now Red Bull don't care too much. Red Bull definitely don't care too much. I think Red Bull's priority now will probably be ensuring Max breaks as many records as possible and getting Checo up to standard.
Horner said their goal now is for Checo to finish P2. So
yeah.
How far ahead is he?
I can tell you very quickly.
He is.
Hamilton has closed the gap a little bit.
30 points behind.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say 31, but
Checo's got a few more points at the weekend because obviously Hamilton retired, but that Mercedes looks good on a Sunday.
It looked very good in Qatar.
And if both Mercedes are up to speed, they've got two cars up there. I'm not saying they're going to compete with Max, but they're going to maximise their points. Red Bull need Checo to get up there. But who knows? The US Grand Prix is over a week away now, so until then, thank you for joining me, Toby, and we'll catch you next time.